Welcome to Comically Comics, your one-stop listen to all things comics. We're talking books, movies, TV shows, video games, and more. I must forewarn you, though, we are a spoiler cast, and what that means is we consider all properties, past, future, and present, to be valid, and we will spoil the hell out of them. I'm your host, Michael, along with my two co-hosts, Richard and Jeremy, and with all that being said, let's get started. All right, it is Sunday, not March, it's June. June, so far away from March, it's June 3rd.
You're just wishing it was March. We were back in March Madness, our Mutant Madness.
Right.
That's what you're missing. We just needed one more month of Mutant Madness.
And we're so far away from that today as well, because we're talking DC. So, woo! Okay, so we're talking Aquaman. All right, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. We're finally getting to that. Is that a precursor to your whelming, or is that because
Maybe.
we're so far behind? Or both?
Both, actually, both.
That's great. So, considering Namor's a mutant in DC continuity, would Aquaman be considered a mutant or a half mutant?
He is a metahuman, isn't he? He's considered a metahuman, and which is DC's version of mutants.
Yeah, because they established that in, I can't remember, what was that, Man of Steel, or was that was right before Justice League, because that was right before like Bruce was finding out about all the metas.
That's right.
He was getting all those files.
It wasn't Man of Steel, it was BVS.
BVS, that's right. He was getting all those files or whatever. That's where he learned about Aquaman and Flash and Cyborg, all them. So
yeah,
okay, cool. I'm glad we settled that.
Yeah.
Aquaman Lost Kingdom from 2023, 34%. Rotten Tomatoes, 81% from the audience, which I thought was interesting. Got first appearances, Aquaman, of course. More Fun Comics, 1941. Orm, Aquaman number 29 from 1966. Black Manta, Aquaman number 35 from 1967. Dr. Shin from Aquaman number 2 of 2011. Mera, Aquaman 11 from 1963. Atlanta.
Atlantis?
Adventure Comic. While I was sitting there thinking like Atlanta, Georgia, and
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm sitting there thinking my dumb Southern ass just never puts the T in when I say Atlanta. So, Adventure Comics number 260 from 1959. King Nereus, Aquaman number 19 from 2013. Karshan, Green Lantern number 24 from 1963. Kordax, Atlantis Chronicles number 4 from 1990. Stingray, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom special, more than likely. Atlantis Comics number 5 from 1990. Kingfish, Aquaman number 54 from 1999. Maybe because they're like unsure about that.
Mhm.
But that's the one that closely resembles the character. And Brine King from Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom special. So I guess they were just made like Stingray, Black Manta's like head hitch woman,
Yeah.
and Brine King were made specifically for the movie, it seems like.
Yeah, he was in the previous one for like a hot second, but I guess he was a fan favorite for some reason. They brought him in for this one.
I enjoyed him. My wife
Yeah.
made the comment that he was the Korg of the group.
Yeah, well, he definitely is Korg. He's also, he played, what do you call it? Gimli from Lord of the Rings, or
Okay.
was it Sala from Indiana Jones? I'm trying to look up his name right now because I cannot remember the actor's name, and I should.
Yeah, I can't remember it either. I was just surprised that Martin Short played Kingfish. And I was like, that's funny. And like when I found that out, I could actually like hear it then when I was watching the playback. And I was like, that's funny.
Yeah. John Rhys Davies is the
Okay.
voice of the Brine King.
Got you. I think he did a good job.
Yeah.
I liked it. That was funny. Whelming, sir. Whelmings. What is your whelming to Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom?
Well, actually, I wanted to address something because we didn't do it at the first.
Oh, that's true.
I'm
Yeah.
underly whelmed that Jeremy is not here tonight.
Due to what's that TV show? Unfortunate series of events. What's
Lemony Snicket's
yeah.
a series of unfortunate events.
That's it. Exactly. Yes. That's him right there. That's his life right now. So poor Jeremy.
Okay, so yeah, my whelming. I was whelmed by this movie. I did not hate it. I did not love it. I was just whelmed. I am planted squarely in the middle of whelmed. I think it's better than the first one.
Really?
And I'll get into why I think that, but
Okay.
I didn't necessarily. My wife just did not like this at all. She didn't even want to watch this movie, and I made her because I was like, I don't want to watch it either. And she was like, well, then why are we doing Emily? Because misery loves company.
Because what's yours is mine. What's mine is yours.
But yeah, just whelmed.
I'm honestly surprised that you were whelmed. Like I'm really eager to flesh out like the dislikes and the likes of this movie for you. That's interesting because I'm whelmed as well. Like I'm not overly whelmed with this. I'm not like I'm probably I don't know. The more and more I think about it, honestly, my conflict is that I'm starting to feel like you when it comes to Momoa and Aquaman.
Yeah.
And especially seeing Orm in this.
Yes.
I'm starting to feel more like you, but at the same time, like it was a fun movie. Like the movie, it's in and of itself, the movie was fun. The story to me was solid. I felt like, anyways, not a whole lot of plot holes, not a whole lot of like, this seems like a good finisher. Like, I do not expect another movie out of this at all. I don't expect Jason Momoa to come back as Aquaman. You can stop right here, be done, and that's it. You don't have to do anything else. The way that they finished it. Now, I do feel like they failed on certain things here and there, but at the same time, it was really fun, and I felt like it was a solid story. So.
I wasn't having fun for a while. It wasn't until Orm basically comes into the picture, and
Okay.
Patrick Wilson and Jason Momoa, I think, have a great chemistry in this movie, and I really love the banter between them two, like kind of bickering, especially when they're in the like jungle area. I love the joke when he's like running for the first time and he's like, I don't know. He's like Naruto running and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know how to run on land. And which is kind of funny because like, of course he doesn't. He spent his entire life at sea.
Right.
So that part I really enjoyed. The ending is really bad for me because I was like, it should have been Black Manta versus Aquaman. And
100%.
And they just like, literally they throw him aside only to defeat the real big bad in like 2 seconds. And
yes,
I was like, what the fuck? And I get like, whatever, not everybody wants to make like a big action scene at the end, but still, I was just like, why? Just make it where there is no like evil Kordax, like evil person. And it's just Black Manta has this magical, because like that's what Black Manta does. He looks for magical Atlantean stuff to use to try and kill Aquaman or sell it on the black market or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would have preferred something like that. And I don't know. It started off cool and then it just kind of like teetered, like just right off the cliff for me at the end.
All you had to do was do a freaking like Ghostbusters 2 and ego him into Black Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the ice comes apart and then like his spirit is free and just goes straight into Black Manta. Yeah. And then you have a big fight scene right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's,
yeah,
I'd have been cool with that.
I thought we were going to do that because they essentially made it like, this is almost like Lord of the Rings. Like it's the One Ring or whatever. And it's like possessing
the one trident.
Yeah. And boy, and like it's made of orichalcum, and boy, do they love saying that fucking word. I mean, there is a drinking game to this fucking movie, and you will be drunk off your ass if you take a shot every time they say that fucking word.
Nice. I'm going to have to remember that next time.
The back to one of the things you reminded me was, yeah. So in my opinion, I think Jason Momoa is totally miscast for Aquaman. I don't like his Aquaman at all, especially in this one because he's like, I don't know, goofy yelling throughout. Like he does that like, as he's fucking fighting, you'll just hear him hooping and hollering.
Yes.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then we get Patrick Wilson, who in my opinion is just Aquaman. Like, I know he's supposed to be Ocean Master, but that is more how I envision Aquaman than Jason Momoa's version.
No, that's my problem.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem with this movie. Like, as soon as you bring Orm in and you clean him up, he's fucking Aquaman for the most part.
Yeah.
Until he gets punched in the face by Manta and just like stiff slides over to the like. Until that happens, like, he's just fucking Aquaman.
Yeah.
Where and what's so frustrating, like, I enjoyed Mamoa as Aquaman, like, as we were doing things. There's no fucking growth, though.
Yeah.
There's no growth at all for him and his character.
Yeah.
And, like, I know that's to sit there and have the conversation of, I didn't even want the throne. I still don't want the throne. So that you can build a bridge, pun intended, with Orm on this. But, like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
You could have done it another way. Like, it's more important for Momoa as Aquaman to grow, to be that leader than what we did.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see, like, I get kind of what they were doing at the end when Patrick Wilson's all like, hey, you listen to other people's ideas, even like your worst enemy and stuff like that. But still, you're right. There isn't really that much of an arc for him. And I really don't like the starting off like, I'm a dad now and I'm doing all these dad things. And I don't know. That part really bugged me for some reason. I do like how they address right off the bat that Aquaman is a goofy ass character. We see Storm, his fucking seahorse, sea dragon, whatever you want to fucking call it. I like that moment. Like, at least they're aware that, like, hey, it's Aquaman. And because he says, like, I'm Aquaman. I talk to fish. And I'm like, well, at least they're heading it off right off the bat. But yeah, there is some bad, like, real bad stuff in this. Like, the product placement with the Guinness is so fucking blatant and just awful. Like, when he goes to the fridge to get a Guinness, first off, why is he drinking a Guinness? Like, that doesn't seem like his type of beer to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, he's not Irish. So, like, why is he drinking a Guinness? And then, like, when he opens it, all of them are perfectly turned where the label's facing outward so you can perfectly read the word Guinness. And there's just this flat shot so you can see it in its glory. And I was just like, wow, this is so blatant product placement.
They had to compete with Madam Web in the Pepsi placements.
Apparently. That's funny. Woo, that one is one of the worst ones. But that is an episode for another day.
Right.
Also, this movie wants to remind you of every single thing that happened in the previous movie. That it just like, this movie's runtime is like, I don't have an actual runtime. I'm not doing that, but it's 2 hours and 4 minutes. And I swear to God, like 70% of it is just flashbacks to the previous movie. And I'm like, the last movie made $1 billion. We all saw it. Like,
right. Well, and like you were saying before, like before we even went on air, to go along with that, like the last movie made $1 billion.
Yeah.
And all you're doing is you're spending however much time in this movie to refer back to the other one is because.
Oh, yeah.
How you were saying how long it had been.
Yeah. So the last movie made $1 billion. Made $1 billion. Matter of fact, it made back the previous movie, because we don't know the exact budget. The budget was from anywhere from 160 million to 200 million, but it made back either 992 million or 952 million. So it almost made back $1 billion for WB. So what do? You want to strike while the iron's hot, right? You want to do that. Like, that's what they say. That's the saying.
Right.
So they wait 5 years for this fucking movie to come out. Or to put this movie out. Like, what the fuck were they thinking?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, because like the best thing about Aquaman in these movies that have been coming out is they really don't touch on Justice League, like, at all.
Yeah.
Like, you can watch these without having seen Justice League for the most part. Like, and even like what you've missed from Justice League, they recap, and you're good to go. Like, you don't have to see it.
Yeah.
Which is something that, Marvel really has not been able to do yet, is be able to do like movies like this without having to see some of the other movies.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but some of them.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So, because I think Captain America is fairly solid up until you get Civil War.
Yeah.
So maybe the first two you don't have to have really seen.
I know the first Ant-Man is pretty self-contained story.
Yeah. Ant-Man and the Wasp pretty self-contained as well. So
yeah.
But then you get 3 and then you add Kang in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
You were talking about, Arthur at the very beginning and all the Guinness and stuff like that. Arthur Jr. having powers goes fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely positive.
Oh my God, you're right. Yes. I didn't even think that. Yeah. I have some stuff that I really don't like, but I hadn't even thought, no, it doesn't. It goes nowhere. They set it up and it goes nowhere.
It goes nowhere. Well, I take it back. All it does is allow him to cry, and then Aquaman hear him in the water at the very end. That's the only thing that it does.
Wait, did he?
But
no, that was Aquaman doing it. Never mind. I was gonna say, did he orchestrate the like sea animals to like overpower that like sonic cannon?
That was Arthur.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was him crying or whatever, and then you saw the towards Mamoa, and he's like, "Oh, my son!" And so then he runs over there. But other than that, like, it does. You would think there would have been something cool. There would have been some kind of him and his dad or something like that, and there's dolphins close to the beach or something, or he's got turtles around him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just there'd been some other kind of a cool scene other than,
or he gets like a shark to like eat one of the like henchmen for Black Manta or something.
Oh, that would have been fantastic. His way of fighting back is like calling all these other animals. That would have been awesome. I did love seeing like all the stuff, like when they first get to the Lost Kingdom, Manta and crew does, and you see all the stuff frozen, like even the birds, because it was like above water at one point in time. But you see everything like that was cool. And I don't understand, like, how was there birds there? Because like it looked pretty dark and drab. Like it didn't look like anything was living there whenever they were doing flashbacks. But there's birds.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of like because James Wan directed this movie again. There's a lot of like James Wan showing off his like horror elements in this.
Yeah,
which I kind of appreciate. But yeah, I didn't really think about that, to be honest with you. I kind of just turned my brain off on a lot of this because I was like,
that's probably good.
Yeah, there was a lot. Like, there's my biggest gripe, like one of the most atrocious things in this movie is a line said by Black Manta.
Oh,
and this is,
I know exactly where you're going, but go ahead, please do.
This is a line actually said in this movie. I'm going to kill me a dead mermaid. What?
Yes. Yeah. My note, quote, I'm going to kill me a dead mermaid. Really? 2 question marks. No, I'm right there with
2 question marks.
2, because I'm really wondering about this one. My wife even called that out. Like, she was just like, really? You're going to kill you a dead mermaid? Okay, good for you.
That is up there with some of the worst lines in cinema. Like, that is up there with another Madam Web comparison. Like, that is up there with that. Oh man.
No, yeah. Well, in this one, like, what gets me is there was actually some funny lines in here, but that one, like, that one really made me mad. I was like, this, because like his next line after that was, "You stole his throne and then you steal his girl? Aquaman, shame on you." Like, I like that. Like, I was like, yes, that's pretty, I like that. That's very villainous or whatever, but I'm going to kill me a dead mermaid. Oh, come on. Come on now.
Yeah, Yahya Abdul Mateen II, who is the actor that plays Black Manta, I feel bad for him because I think he does a great job.
100.
But I think, unfortunately, just he didn't have a lot of great material to work with here. I really wanted more of him, like in that final fight, and it was so disappointing for me.
So what I feel like with him anyways is that like you said, he didn't have much to work with. Like the faults of him or his character in this movie are solely from the script. The fact that that line was wrote in there and somebody thought that was cool or funny or whatever. And then two, of like him not actually getting really a final boss scene, cuz like the trident scene he was in, that was badass.
Yeah.
Like in my opinion, like I really liked the trident fight he had with Arthur. That was awesome. But then to sit there and like be tossed aside, literally, like you were saying, and I don't know, he was wasted. He was absolutely wasted. Like they had a chance to do something with this movie, and this movie, like I said, it feeling like they're closing in everything, tying off all the loose ends,
Yeah.
and definitely tied him off from what I can tell. Anyways,
Yeah. This was a funny moment to me just because, like, so at the beginning, there's like a cage fight in this movie, and it's in the, I forget what the kingdom's called, but it's the one with Kingfish. And we see like all these like goofy looking like Atlantean creatures. And then there's just a guy in a scuba suit. And
oh
he shows back up later where Aquaman uses his helmet to like drown the Fish King to like interrogate him. But
yeah,
I was like, who the fuck is that? Like, why is there a guy in a scuba suit? Like, he looks like Sandy from SpongeBob. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, it's also like a
that's
goofy.
Scuba Steve.
That's funny.
There's your announcer right there. Hi, I'm Scuba Steve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then he uses it to drown fish or King. I keep wanting to call him Fisher King, but Kingfish.
Kingfish, yeah.
But I'm like, what do you do? Just take the helmet off, dude. What do you do? Like, take the helmet. Just take it off. Like, his hands were free. It wasn't like Aquaman was holding his hands down. Just take them off.
He's got flippers though. It's not. He's no opposable thumbs. So they just.
I thought he had like webbed fingers.
Oh, maybe I saw flippers, but
Okay.
maybe I didn't pay that much attention. So maybe he did. But yeah, no, I just figured it was just it'd be like a cat, like just.
Well, that actually makes more sense, and I would have preferred him to actually do that in the movie because that would have added to the comedic like moment. But yeah, some of this is so goofy, and like the CGI is goddamn atrocious with the humans, like the human people, and like their hair and their body. Like it looks like they digitally put someone's face on like a completely CGI body. Because like their face kind of like shifts, like with it just looks weird to me and bad.
It's like some of it's really good for me, anyways. When I'm watching it, some of it I'm like, man, that looks really good, and then other parts I'm like, oh, that does not look really good.
Yeah.
It's like they had to pick and choose where they were going to put money almost, which I kind of understood because they all knew like this was it. Like this was the last of the Zack Snyder verse, movie kind of stuff. We're even lucky we're playing with this right now, y'all. So let's just let's be conscious of that. So, but yeah, I'm with you. Like some of it looked really good, and then some of it looked really bad. And I'm just like, y'all should have shared it or something. Like went down the middle. I don't know. Like
I would have preferred to if it was like King Shark or somebody else instead of Kingfish, but I think that would, especially because we got like actual shark like men, like the hammerhead shark men that were like holding them prisoner as they were like taking him to their. Anyway, sorry, I just had that thought. But yeah, the CGI is all over the place.
And I believe that one of those was Karshan, because that's a shark character. That's what I'm assuming, anyways. I didn't like look it up, but that's what I'm assuming is that Karshan is. I know that he is a shark character, and those were the only ones that were like prominent throughout the whole movie. So, but yeah, King Shark would have been great there too.
Supposedly on this wiki, Karshan is one of the like Atlantean people that are like keeping Arthur from like doing his job.
Oh. Now I'm questioning everything.
You're probably right. They probably changed it for the movie.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I need to do more research.
Who cares? It's Aquaman.
right?
No, you're
right.
100% right. I am looking up right now. Karshan. Karshan's a shark person. They just changed it for the movie.
That's horrendous.
Yes.
Horrendous. Like, why?
I have no idea.
Why? Ugh, that's okay. Well, on that note, fuck swimming in Arctic water. So
cold?
no,
you don't like cold water?
I'll do a plunge. That's fine. But like being underwater, no.
No, you buy.
No, Mr. Superman.
Yeah. Yeah, they supposedly can withstand the cold, but yeah, I wouldn't want to do it either, obviously.
No, I'm sorry. I think my balls would shrivel up into my stomach.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, I'm a woman.
Why is my Audi an innie now?
Yeah, exactly.
I got a question.
Don't be gross, Tammy.
I got a question.
All right.
My note says, WTF happened to all the water after Manta puts the trident together? He puts the trident together under the water. All right. And he sees Kordax and like all the stuff is happening and all. And he starts striking the deal and all that jazz. And the next thing you know, he's like face down in the sand. And Shin is like, David, you know, and he's like telling him, he Manta jumps up and he's like, oh, everything, it's okay. But like, it's all dry now.
Mm.
All the water that they were under is now gone.
Were they in the same place or were they on? I thought they were on the submarine. I thought he like passed out and they like brought him back to the submarine.
No, they were on the ground.
Okay.
Because the trident went back into the sand.
I got no fucking clue then if that's the case. I'll have to rewatch that because maybe that's probably a continuity error to be 100% honest. That's like an editing, like, I don't know. We got this scene and they're clearly not underwater, but fuck it. We're doing this.
Well, they're all still in their scuba gear as well.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that I think Kingfish makes a reference to it whenever he's talking to Aquaman. He's like, there's an island that showed up that wasn't there before and stuff like, and so I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but that was also in the Arctic, like where the Lost Kingdom is. So it's like, what is going on?
Yeah. There's apparently a scene that was left on the cutting room floor where I guess they were supposed to show the island raise up from the ocean.
So, yeah, I don't know. I was hoping you'd have something for me because
I was so confused because I was like, are they in the center? Because like the last movie, Aquaman's mom, they were like in the center of the earth and it was like dinosaurs and stuff. And they show up to that island and my wife was like, where are they? And I was like, I think they're in the center of the earth. And then we saw like a big rat or something. I can't remember what it was. And I was like, yeah, that must be where they are. And then later on, there's like an exterior shot, and I'm like, oh no, never mind. They're on an island. Like, I was so confused of where they were located.
You know, now that we're talking about this, because I was thinking like the center of the earth might have been a really good place to put that. What's it called? I can't remember it now.
Orichalcum. Yeah,
Orichalcum. That's it. And then I'm like, no, because then if it got loose or whatever the case is, like. It would make some crazy sized dinosaurs. It probably would. They would have started the whole like Kong Godzilla thing.
Yeah.
That's what it would have turned into. It would have been a great way for DC to have done a Justice League versus King Kong versus Godzilla,
a kaiju
which is
crossover.
going on in the comic books right now.
Yeah.
So that would have been fantastic. WB, you should have stuck with that. You should have put the Orichalcum in the center of the earth, and then that's where Kong and everybody came from. First off. Secondly, they should have came to Arthur a long time ago and be like, yeah, we know you know Superman. So here's what we need.
Yeah.
We need you to talk to him about getting this stuff out into space.
Yeah, for real.
We need it gone.
There was so
Put
much
it in the sun.
Yeah. There was so much of this movie where I'm like, it's the same thing what I do sometimes with the Marvel movies. I'm like, why don't you call, like, with the Marvel movies, I'm like, why don't you call Iron Man? Like, Iron Man would be over here in like 30 minutes and help you out, and this problem would be solved immediately. Yeah, and this one I was like, where the fuck is like, this island is spewing this like green smoke out into the atmosphere. I'm like, where Superman would be able to fucking see that, or he could call Batman or fucking Flash or somebody and just help all this out and be done in 2 minutes, but whatever.
That brother wouldn't have gotten 2 miles of that because he would have been afraid it was kryptonite.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, it's green. Nope, I'm not touching that.
These guys over here are burning kryptonite. They're really trying to kill me. I am out. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I wanted at least some reference of the Justice League in this, but they didn't do that at all.
Yeah, dick all on that. Which, like, I kind of like, but at the same time, it would have made things like that a lot easier. Like, you have all this stuff. Just put it in space.
There was you kind of mentioned it in one of our episodes way back then. So Hamada was pushing to have Michael Keaton's Batman make a cameo in this movie, but then all that got like changed and switched around, and then they filmed a scene with Ben Affleck's Batman to be put in this movie, but again, all that got fucking scrapped, and it was removed from the movie. It was one of the things I saw from like the behind the scenes on this.
Yeah, because like they were showing Ben in like the trailers or whatever out there with Mamoa. So yeah, I remember all that now. That's funny. It's been a long time. Saw more of Amber Heard than I thought we would.
Yeah,
so
I did too.
But you could tell they were definitely like trying to push her out a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
But like just enough to be like, okay, we need you for this part of the story. It'd be nice to have you for this part of the story. All right, that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
You go to the hospital now.
No, not you. No, not you. Go on. Like, yeah, they definitely, you could feel it, especially like at the beginning or whatever, and he's having to like fight Black Manta, and then she gets sidelined. And yeah, she's at the hospital. Or never mind, you already said that. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah. And she's out for how, which I don't even know why they brought her back, honestly, because you could have done all the same stuff with Nicole Kidman's Atlanta. And like that could have been except for like her like water bending powers. But like that could have been somewhat of the, like she could have just swam down there and just pulled the rocks up off of Arthur and been done. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then you could have had the mother and the two sons reunite there and that kind of stuff, which we wound up getting that anyways.
Yeah.
So
the only thing I like about Mera, like as a character, is that she's a water kinesis, like water path or whatever you want to call it. And that's such a cool ability, especially when you live in fucking water. And I don't know, there wasn't enough of that, but I get why, because they wanted to kind of keep her not so prominent in the movie.
Yeah. I like the stuff we did see of her. I will say that. Like the playfulness with her and Arthur, like moving the piss and stuff. Oh, God. That was like funny to me.
The piss thing. What is up with DC and piss? There's so many references to pee and then like the first movie was Arthur was like, hey, you want me to piss on it to like get that little like key thing to work or whatever, because they needed water.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, there's like the jar of Granny's peach tea and calling it piss or whatever. There's a lot of references to piss in the DC universe.
And James Gunn will probably carry it on.
Oh, God, I hope not. That was so gross. It was so gross when it's like peeing in his mouth and he dodges it and then she like deflects it back on him. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. But that like... I let that one pass above all the other ones for the fact that like that's such a parent, like that's boys, girls. It doesn't matter what kind of kids you have. As soon as you open that diaper, you know your reaction better be to put it back on because it's like air hits whatever's down there and it's like piss.
Yeah,
just
yeah. I wish Jeremy was here to confirm that because I unfortunately don't have kids, but yeah, I've heard the same as well.
Yeah, and it don't matter if it's boy, girl. It does not matter. That shit shoots up like a fountain, and it's like, the fuck?
That's funny. My question to you is, we get to see the cloak, the Aquaman cloaking outfit. How the fuck does it cloak his face though? it just cloaks, like, in my opinion, it should just look like a floating head.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I was gonna say water, but there's not even that.
Yeah.
So and you'd think he'd put his hair up in a bun.
Yeah.
Like he does it in other scenes. You know, you're being stealthy. Like put that shit up in a bun. Like, you know,
he's gonna let that mane
really
go,
be stealthy. Maybe that's just me being jealous. Since we're right there, Tupa is freaking great. I love him. He's my favorite. Yes.
I hate Toppo. I hate Toppo.
No.
The fact that they make a backronym for him, because like they call it a tactical observation and pursuit operative, which I don't think is a thing in the comic. He's just called Toppo. Like in other words, they came up with, they went back and made this acronym, which is why I'm calling it a backronym.
Got you.
Like, I don't know. I didn't like Toppo. And then I was like, how is he able to survive in the desert? Like, he's been way too far out in the desert for a long time, crawling around in the sand and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is going on there?
He's fucking Toppo.
Okay.
That's all you need. That's all I need. Like, he's the boss shit when it comes to this. He knows what he is doing.
No. He's a fucking cephalopod. Like,
it was awesome. I loved it. Love him. He was the most stable character throughout the entire movie. I mean, rode the horse and grabbed him as they were getting out.
Yeah.
Like, inked them so they had cover to get out of Kingfish's lair. Like,
that's another piss reference when he inks Arthur and he's like, wait, is ink piss? And I'm like, what is up with the piss references?
Oh, that's funny. I got Super Friend vibes when the heist / siege on Atlantis. Like, it was like live action Super Friends vibes is what I was getting. Like, I love Manta's ship that he gets.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's a really cool ship. I like the design of it. I like the big like bay window that they got going all the way around. I like this in the shape of a hammerhead. Like, I like all these things about it. But like when they're like trying to get cover to go get Black Manta, like it felt so much like a Super Friends like live action episode. I was just like, oh.
Meanwhile, in the depths of the ocean, Black Manta is plotting his.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I absolutely, I liked the hokiness or the goofiness of Black Manta in this movie, especially, the Hammerhead sub, and he has all his like Black Manta henchmen, and they're all wearing like matching scuba outfits and stuff. I was like, right on. I wanted to see more of like goofy shit like that in like the MCU with like Hydra and AIM and stuff like that. Yeah, I dug all that. One of my favorite moments in this movie is when Orm, like Johnny Cage, kicks a guy at one point in the movie. He just comes flying in with like a kick and he kicks a dude. It's one of the weird like Atlantean like blood drinkers or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I just thought it was fucking funny.
Yeah, no, there was a lot that was like with that stuff that was crazy. Why didn't they put like, I don't know, maybe they don't have a deal worked out with the trench. I don't know. But like I would have thought they would have put him with the trench. Like why does everything Atlantean that's secret have to be put out in the desert?
Well, it is because their weakness is they have to be within like water, otherwise they get really weak.
Right.
My wife was, when they go and like get Orm and he's like emaciated looking, and she was like, wait, they have to be around water or they look like that? And I was like, yes. She's like, oh my God, that is so dumb. I was like, that is Aquaman's weakness. Like he can't go with like an hour without drinking water or something. Otherwise he'll start getting super weak.
Yeah. Which I'm good with that. It's just, I don't know. It's we already did the desert. It was in the first movie.
Yeah.
Now we're back at the desert again.
Yeah, it's the same place. It's supposed to be the same place from the first movie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, but we didn't have any of those creatures then.
No, we didn't.
Oh my god. So that's how Toppo like made it. Is because they got on the plane again. The guy knew where they were going to jump out at.
Oh, okay.
And freaking they got over the area and Toppo grabbed hold of like Aquaman's back and he opened up the door and, and yeah, exactly.
Toppo made a parachute.
He's not Splat. He's not Splat cool. Like that's not. He's close. But he's not Splat cool.
Man, Splat's like on a whole nother level than Toppo for me.
Oh, that's funny. A line since we're there with Emaciated Orm is he was getting on to Aquaman about how he put him there and stuff like that. Arthur's response was, "Meh. Why are you bringing that shit up? Why are you bringing up that old shit?" Like I love that line. I don't know what it was. It was just it tickled me. It was funny.
He should have been like, "Yeah, that happened 5 years ago. I don't understand why you care anymore."
Just him starting off with meh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You could tell Mamoa kind of knew this was the last movie, so he's just having fun with it the entire time.
Right.
Which I kind of appreciate. Because, like, one of the reasons why I like this one more over the first one is this one doesn't take itself so seriously, especially when it's Aquaman. Like, he like they said at the beginning of the movie, he talks to fish and he rides a fucking seahorse. Like, they decided to not be super serious with this, and I appreciate it. There's just enough seriousness, and then there's like a lot of like goofy things during it.
I hear you and I'm with you, but at the same time, I wish he would have grown up some. Like I wish Aquaman would have grown up more in between. Like that would have been nice.
Yeah.
But we didn't get that. And that's why I felt like the guy that plays Orm looks like Aquaman, freaking acts more like a king and like a grown Aquaman would act. Like it's just, I'm like, that's fucking Aquaman.
Yeah. I would have preferred Aquaman to be more like T'Challa in like the MCU. He's like more regal and he takes everything kind of serious. But I'm just saying for like this movie, because the last movie was just so like Aquaman still being like his weird, like, Leonard Skinner, like roadie self, like drinking beers and stuff, but then everything's super serious and dark and everything, and I'm just like, I don't need it. That's enough. Like, I can't take you seriously when you have crab people. So I just appreciate this one kind of being like, yeah, we're gonna tone it down a little bit with the crazy, super serious stuff. I agree that like, I think it would have been better if Aquaman was more serious.
Yes.
And then like somebody else is more of like the comic relief in the movie.
Yeah. Sometimes. Because I mean, Momoa is funny. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he is funny. But I don't know. It's just, you're going out. So maybe they're saving it for actually doing a Aquaman ride or something. Because this came off more of like Thor.
Yeah.
Like, that's what this reminds me of.
Well,
Thor.
They literally make a reference to it in the movie. He calls Ocean Master Loki at one point.
That's true. Yeah, he does.
Like they're very aware of it being kind of like Thor 2.
I'm glad you put that in there because I didn't even put that together. I remember hearing him say that and I was like, what? But now, like, yes. Okay, I got you. That's funny. That's really funny.
I love Orm's like shitting on like the I don't know, the like Outlanders or whatever, the people that are on land. And I like the joke of Momoa being like, you're just prejudiced or whatever. And he's like, if you get out and try things, and then he like makes him eat a bug or something like that. I thought that was, again, like the banter between them is really fun and enjoyable. That's my favorite part of this movie.
That's what I was going to say. That was my favorite line of this entire movie, and I have it in quotes. You've let your prejudice stop you from enjoying half this world. You should think about that. And I'm like, that, like, a lot of people need to fucking hear that.
Yeah.
Like, A lot of people on the earth need to hear that like
Yeah.
your prejudice is stopping you from enjoying things.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was the best line in the entire movie.
And you know what? Now thinking about it, like Aquaman didn't really have an arc, but Orm did. So again, like,
oh yes,
Patrick Wilson was more of the main character of this movie. He should have just been Aquaman to begin with. Like, he had an arc in this movie.
Yeah. Well, over the two.
Yeah.
Over the two movies. Yeah, he had a huge arc. To go back to Kingfish real quick, I got such Jabba the Hutt vibes. Like,
oh my God, yes, I didn't think about that, but yeah.
with him being laid up and as they're coming in, and like he's got prisoners that are coming to him, and as soon as you open the doors, there's a band playing over to the whatever, and it's these weird alien people or whatever, these weird like underwater alien. I'm like, this is just Jabba the Hutt. That's all this is. He's just Jabba
Under the sea.
He gets choked.
Yeah.
Until he submits. Like,
yep. Yeah, he's definitely Jabba the Hutt. He just needed his like slave Leia.
Yeah.
And his salacious crumb, that like weird thing that goes like
yes. Somebody tried to make fun of me one time saying that I laughed like that. I just kept laughing because the shit's funny to me. I'm like, fuck you, I don't care.
That's funny. It's kind of like that, but not a one-to-one. I only have two more notes here, and it's just, what a dumb ending, because like they try to do the Iron Man thing.
Oh my God.
And I was like, that is such a stupid way to end this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because like, especially at the end of the first one, I think he says like, I'm Aquaman or something like that. Like he's like, but he does it like seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, no, I'm with you. When he did that, I was like, come on, man.
But also,
like,
doesn't the rest of the world know he's Aquaman already because of like the Justice League stuff? Because I remember I think it was Justice League. There's that moment where he like talks to Bruce. He's like, he says something about like, he's calling out Bruce Wayne about being Batman in front of like a ton of people while like in the water, like backing away. And he swims off, and like everyone of that little village knows he's Aquaman. So I'm assuming like after the events, like everyone just knows that he's Aquaman. So I don't know. I just, that whole like him having a press conference and being like, I am Aquaman. And then he like dives off. That's what he does. He makes that noise.
No, I'm with you. Oh, so my thing is that in the first Aquaman movie, he's at the bar and the bikers come up to him and they're like, yo, can we get a picture of you?
That's right. Yeah.
Like, they know him.
Yeah.
He's Aquaman because that's after Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
So like, they know.
They spent too long reminding us what happened in the last one that they themselves don't even remember what happened in the last one. They should have watched their own movie.
Right? One of mine is the refinery fight scene felt like very much like either Fallout, or it reminds me of the promos for BioShock, where the giant sub thing with the arms comes up, and I'm like, this like, I don't know. It just reminded me of all that kind of stuff. So I thought it was cool. Yeah,
BioShock is a definite for that. I don't know Fallout, but I don't know Fallout that much. But I've played BioShock, and I can definitely see what you're talking about on that.
Oh, when people were leaving the Lost Kingdom, so Mera and Shin had gotten Junior, and they were headed out, and then there was the fight scene, the final boss scene. Shouldn't Mera and Shin have been a lot further along getting out than they were when everything was done and over?
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like they were very far behind, and they were just we're not making a whole lot of progress. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, what's...
I wanted to know how Shin even survived. Like, did they put him in a ship or something? Because like, the moment he hits water, they're at the bottom of the ocean. He would get crushed. Like,
that's true.
It would crush his body.
Are they at the bottom of the ocean?
Oh, that's right.
I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. They're on the island. So no, they're not at the. I keep thinking they're in the center of the earth. No, they're not. Never mind. Yes, you're correct. They're on the island.
But they are in the Arctic, so if he don't have the right apparel on, he's gonna have hypothermia.
Yeah, he's gonna
he's dying.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is like Mera swam him fast enough to like whatever recover. I don't know. I just there's a lot of like just weird moments in this movie that I feel like was probably due to editing, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Man, like to finish off the boss, to finish off Kordax with the same move twice.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Back to back.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Like
my wife and I both, when we were watching it, we were like, you just did that. Now all of a sudden it fucking works. And it like it precisionally it nails, like it's like Robin Hood. Like he split the arrow from tip to tail.
Right.
All the way down, perfectly center, destroying the orichalcum trident. I was gonna say fork. Which it's a fork.
Forks have 4 prongs. It's only a trident if it has 3.
But yeah, which his trident has, I think it has 3, but someone's trident has like 4 or 5. And I'm like, it's not a trident at that point. But yeah, no, yeah. Him using the same maneuver to destroy the bad guy was just fucking lame as hell. Cause I was just like, that really, it worked this time? What you threw it a little bit harder? Is that it? Like what?
He had like a Samoan chant. He went with it too, and it was
yeah,
and I was just like, oh, okay, cool.
You know what it reminded me of, and this is probably like this is not comic related at all. It reminded me of the movie, like the Scorpion King movie with The Rock, and how at the end of that movie, have you ever seen that movie?
Luckily, I bailed out after like 2.
Oh, okay. Well, it reminds me of that. There's this bad guy in the movie where he trains to catch arrows. So like he can like when someone fires an arrow at him, he like catches it.
Okay.
And at the end of the movie, I was supposed to say Jason Momoa, The Rock uses his bow.
Same difference.
The Rock uses his bow and shoots it at the guy, but they've established in the movie that his bow is like bigger because he's like a big man or whatever, and that it takes like only he can use the bow because it's just so fucking hard to like draw the string back.
Okay.
So in other words, implying that it will shoot like even faster. So it then hits the bad guy because it's moving much faster than what he's used to trying to catch the arrow, and then he like falls into like a pit of fire and dies. And the whole reason I'm saying that is like they at least did a better job of setting up like the reason why he was like they should have at least said something like Arthur can throw the trident like faster or something with whatever with the power of love. I don't know, fucking something. I don't understand why. Like I don't know, it's just dumb.
I'm about to help you. Kordax had his hand full, and the other one he didn't have a hand on.
Yeah.
He just had the one hand, and it was full, and he wasn't about to let go of that trident. So selfishness killed him in the end. There you go.
Yeah, something. That's funny.
I think I'm out of notes.
The last thing I have is just what a just great mid-credit scene where Orm is eating a cockroach. I'm being facetious when I say great. It eats a cockroach and smiles through the pain. Like what a good analogy for the mishandling of the DC universe. Like just the
smiles through the pain.
Yeah, you can tell Patrick Wilson is just smiling through that awful scene. And I was like, what? This is how you end it? This is how you end it all, is with that.
I mean, it could be better. It could be the Flash and Aquaman just lays down in water.
Yeah, drowns
drunk.
Yeah. That was dumb too. Like, I just Anyway, I'm looking forward to Superman Legacy or whatever the fuck they're calling it now.
Is it just Superman now?
Yeah, I think it's Superman now.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I think we get Creature Commandos before that.
That's true. Yeah, we do. When is that coming
But
out?
is that this year or is that early next year? I can't remember now.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
We'll find out. I mean, I stick with it. Like it was a fun for me. It was a fun movie. As far as recommending it to anybody, it's one of those. I feel like there's not many superhero movies that I feel like I could just kind of put on in the background and just have it going, and look every now and then to laugh. Most of them I like to actually sit down and actually like watch and enjoy and indulge. This one I feel like is one of those where like if I catch a Black Manta scene, Yaya killed it most of this movie, except for the one line. Like, loved all his scenes,
Yeah.
loved them, and loved the ship and stuff like that. And then other times there was just funny moments, and it was just a fun movie. So I guess it just depends on the mood you're in, maybe. But yeah, I mean, for Yaya and a laugh, watch it.
Yeah.
You're already paying for it more than likely.
Yeah.
So
Until they take it off, which
Right.
will probably never
Right.
really happen. I don't think I would recommend this, only because I just don't see anybody like clamoring to watch this. And like it shows that, like, I think I mentioned the budget. This movie had a budget of 205 million and it made back 229 million. It earned 434 million worldwide. So it didn't necessarily bomb,
flop. Yeah.
but it didn't do as great as the first one.
No.
And I kind of feel like that was just due to timing, and that this was like the last like gasp of the DCEU.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I didn't hate it, but I don't think I could recommend it. I don't know who I would recommend it to, but
yeah,
I'm kind of biased or not biased. Like, I don't like Aquaman to begin with. So like, I don't know how to recommend Aquaman to people normally.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, do you like The Little Mermaid? Well, maybe you'll like Aquaman. I don't know what to do there. Yeah, so that's kind of my final summation of this.
Lots of profanity in it. So if you got kids, if you're not keen on them hearing shit a lot, because it's in there a lot. Lots of shit. There's that. I did like how they tied in, the story of Manta killing Junior.
Yeah.
Because that was a big question. Like everybody was asking, like, will James Wan do it? Will he actually like kill a baby on screen, kind of thing? And so I like that they put that story in there as a way to further along. Like it wasn't a reach, it wasn't a grasp. Like that, it was legit, like into the story. So I did enjoy that.
Yeah, I think he should have done it. I'm just saying. Since the last one,
Man,
that'd have been dark as hell.
That would have been so. That would not have gone with the rest of the movie at all.
No, it would not.
It'd so totally different.
Yeah, it would have. It had probably shot it to an R rating, probably.
Oh, it had to have. Yeah, yeah. That's crazy. Well, hopefully we'll have Jeremy back next week. We got a nice little book that we're going to read and do a review on that. Super Sons, issues 1 through 5, 1 through 6. Which
4, I think.
Oh, is it 1 through 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
4 has the first arc.
That's
it
right.
Finishes that up.
That's right. So if y'all want to join along in the meantime, then there you go. Super Sons, issues 1 through 4. Outside of that, Richard, where can they find you at?
If you want to contact me directly, I have an X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram, and a Threads. My handle is Night Curry, night like day and night, and curry with a K. If you want to contact us directly, we have a Gmail. Our Gmail is comicallycomicspodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to check us out on YouTube, possibly TikTok, we'll see, and Instagram, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics Podcast. And if you want to check us out on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics with an X.
You can find me on Instagram, eBay, and Shortbox at 22_comics. You can also find me on YouTube at 22comics. Thank you all so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed as much as we did making it. With all that being said, Richard, do you want to say goodbye, or do we both say goodbye to Jeremy, or hello,
No,
Jeremy?
No,
or,
come back, Jeremy. Jeremy, come back. Come on,
Jeremy,
come back.
come back.
You can blame it all on me.
My name is Arthur Curry. I am the rightful sovereign of the undersea nation of Atlantis. I'm a father, a brother, a warrior, and a friend. I am the king of Atlantis. I am Aquaman.